Hi, I'm Kay Dean, and this is Fake Review Watch. Dr. Adam Rubinstein is a Miami plastic surgeon who exposes other surgeons for dishonest practices. My advice to Dr. Rubinstein, though, is that people who live in glass houses should not throw stones. What I'll show you in this video is that Dr. Rubinstein himself is faking his online reviews. On his website, Dr. Rubinstein touts his own honesty and integrity. He also likes to point out some other surgeons whom he thinks are being less than honest in a series he calls Exposed. The most famous plastic surgeon he called out is Dr. Simon Ourian of Epione, Beverly Hills. Here's the beginning of Rubinstein's video on Dr. Simon Ourian.
This is the latest video in the Exposed series where I talk about doctors that may be not giving you the full story about themselves or perhaps misleading you by how they represent themselves. I'm here to tell you the full truth, and I'm not telling you not to use somebody. I'm not trying to disparage anyone. I'm just trying to tell you the truth and what's out there in public information. And this one is about Dr. Simon Ourian.
Here's Rubinstein posting on Facebook, stating that Ourian is not board certified in plastic surgery and that he's been on probation with the Medical Board of California. He also calls attention to a public flap involving Ourian and actor Dick Van Dyke. Now, what Dr. Rubinstein points out about Dr. Ourian is true. Ourian has been in hot water with the Medical Board of California. And Dick Van Dyke did complain publicly about Ourian botching his wife's cosmetic surgery. In fact, Dr. Ourian is also faking his online reviews, as I've demonstrated in a previous video. In the end, though, this expose by Dr. Rubinstein has led to a lawsuit between Rubinstein and Ourian. Rubinstein is suing because he claims Ourian has defamed him with fake negative reviews of his practice. Presumably, Ourian did this in retaliation for Rubinstein's expose of his practice. Dr. Rubinstein may have a point. Look at this Google reviewer named Caroline Norton. Curiously, she has reviewed both Dr. Rubinstein in Miami and Dr. Ourian in Beverly Hills. Rubinstein gets a 1-star rating and Ourian a 5-star rating. But before we start feeling sorry for the sanctimonious Dr. Rubinstein, let's analyze his Google reviews more closely. You can see here that Dr. Adam Rubinstein has a 4.5-star Google rating based on 222 reviews. Here, I've plotted 40 of those Google reviewers on a spreadsheet along with other businesses they've reviewed. The large overlap in businesses reviewed is evidence that these are fraudulent reviews. Many of these reviews are probably provided by the same review broker. In fact, the people at the top are likely not even real people at all, just names conjured up by the review broker. Let me point out what a closer look at Dr. Rubinstein's Google reviews tells us. You don't see this when looking at Dr. Rubinstein's reviews, but certainly Google does. First, of these 40 patients of Dr. Rubinstein, 32 all happen to use True Green Lawn Care franchises from around the country. 30 of these 40 patients used ADT security franchises from around the country. Interestingly, 14 used the same pediatric group up in Orlando. Perhaps even more remarkable, 10 of these patients all patronize the same pizza parlor in Toronto, and 10 use the same fencing company in Illinois. None of this is believable. Another point I'd like to make is that if we scroll down the spreadsheet, we see many of the businesses are medical and dental clinics from around the country. They are most likely clients of the same fake review online marketing service. Let's take a look at the reviews for Dr. Rubinstein by the people I've highlighted in red: Isabel Garrett, Gloria Pope, Catherine Reed, and Rosemary Johnson. The problem with being deceitful is that you have to dot all of your I's and cross your T's or you get tripped up. Note here that Gloria Pope and Rosemary Johnson both gave Dr. Rubinstein the exact same review. Most likely, the review broker Dr. Rubinstein hired to give him fake reviews screwed up and posted the same review under 2 different names. Rubinstein, who obviously is paying attention to his reviews, noticed it and had to say something to try to address the obvious problem. Here's Isabel Garrett's Google review of Dr. Rubinstein along with Rosemary Johnson's. This time, notice the photos. They are of the same person. Google reviews are so easy to fake that review brokers just lift photos off the internet and stick them with names they make up. Here's that same photo yet again, this time attached to the name Irene Callahan, who reviewed Ganchi Plastic Surgery, another business that was on our spreadsheet. Here's a review by Catherine Reed of Dr. Rubinstein. But notice the same photo appears as Audra Howell, a reviewer of Redwood Dental in Michigan, yet another business that figures prominently on our spreadsheet of businesses faking Google reviews. But Dr. Rubinstein isn't just faking his Google reviews. He also appears to be faking his reviews on Vitals. Today's November 7th, 2020, and we're looking at Dr. Adam Rubinstein's reviews on Vitals. And he has a 5-star rating on Vitals based on 146 reviews. So let's take a look at some of these reviews. And as we scroll through this first page here, we see that this review was posted on November 1st, 2020. And as we continue to scroll through this page, I noticed that all of these reviews were posted on November 1st, 2020. Let's take a look at the next page. Once again, November 1st, 2020. All of these reviews were posted on November 1st, 2020. In all, Dr. Rubinstein received 58 5-star reviews on Vitals on November 1st, 2020. That's just simply not believable. So, even a doctor who touts the importance of honesty and integrity, and who calls out other doctors for their lack of transparency, is faking his online reviews. What does Google do about it? Nothing. And what about the medical review site Vitals? Don't you think Vitals would find it suspicious that a doctor receives 58 5-star reviews in one day? Apparently not. So once again, the message is, do not trust online reviews in making any important decision.